the Florida Podcast Network, the voice of Florida.
Glenn and Jemmy here. Just a quick note. As we explained in the last episode, episode 9A, we are changing the format a bit for the adventure episodes. After getting some listener feedback and in an effort to provide you with the best listening experience possible, we're going to start breaking the adventures into more shorter episodes released on a more regular basis.
For example, in this episode, we give you half of our Tallahassee adventure, and then in the next episode, 9C, which will come out in about a week or so, we will provide you with the other half of our fun Tallahassee adventure and our adventure wrap-up. We hope that this change to our release schedule helps you to enjoy our show that much more. And now, on with the show. This is episode 9B of the Finding Florida podcast on the Florida Podcast Network, Americana in our state's capital of Tallahassee.
We hope you're ready for an adventure.
Welcome to Finding Florida, the podcast that takes you from country to the coast. Join your tour guides, an unlikely pair, city girl Jemmy and country boy Glenn, as they explore the amazing sights and sounds of the Sunshine State.
Last month, we found the fancy in Fort Lauderdale. If you missed it, go back and take a listen to episodes 8A and 8B. This month, we travel north, almost to the Georgia border, to visit our state capital of Tallahassee. It's our first trip to the Panhandle.
Join us as we go from the cultural side of our state's history to the adventurous side as we get Jemmy on a zip line and a Segway for the first time. What could go wrong?
Nothing at all. No broken ribs, though, this time. At least we hope.
Enjoy the sights and activities that make Florida's capital city a special place to visit. For your next trip to Tallahassee, go to visittallahassee.com to plan and book your stay. Tallahassee, where it all comes together beautifully.
Well, it's Friday early afternoon, and we are sitting here ready to begin 2 days of adventure in Tallahassee.
Oh my gosh, and one thing we're always bragging about is how lucky we are with the great weather, but whoa, the clouds really rolled in today, and the skies certainly opened up, but you know what? Things are looking much clearer now, and we are ready to go.
Joining us for part of this weekend, we have Rachel Jeter, who is marketing specialist for Visit Tallahassee. She has helped us set up the things we're going to be doing this weekend, and she's really given us a well-rounded look at this town. We have a variety of experiences coming your way. This town, we've been here for a couple of days now because we had some meetings here.
We did.
And it's interesting because it really has a small-town feel from what we've seen so far.
A small New England town
I
feel.
know.
It feels like you're
There's
in Virginia,
hills here, people.
Pennsylvania, there are hills, there's tiny... The roads are it just feels like we're elsewhere other than Florida. But you know what? As soon as we realized we could also go from one plaza parking lot to another plaza parking lot to another plaza parking lot without hitting an actual road, we realized once again, we are in Florida after all.
Where you never have to drive on a road.
Yes, so we had those great meetings yesterday, and one person we had the very good fortune of running into is a guy named Joel Silver. He hosts a show called Live in Tallahassee, and we met him at the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association yesterday. He was absolutely fantastic, so let's give listeners a little clip of what he had to say about Tallahassee.
Well, we are here at the headquarters of FRLA, and we have found our random find, which is a local celebrity right here.
I'm a random find?
Yes.
That's what I am?
Yes.
Wow.
And it's Joel Silver, right?
Joel Silver.
All right, so Joel Silver, you are the host of an amazing show that we've just heard about, and it's all about Tallahassee, where we are right now for the first time ever in either of our lives. What is the name of your show?
Absolutely. It's called Live in Tallahassee. We are the weekly entertainment show in town. We talk about what's happening in the capital city of Florida and all the surrounding counties.
Does that mean you go to bars in every episode?
Well,
and just
there
drink
usually
a lot?
at least
thought we
one.
had the best job, but now I think maybe you do.
We have a good time. There's so many fun things that happen in this whole region people don't know about. But yeah, and that's what our mission is, to cover it and make sure people know.
Well, we're telling everybody about Tallahassee. What is it you love about this town? You've seen it all.
Yes. So. Well, there's such a diversity. We have everything, obviously, that every other community has, but we like to think ours has a little special flair and flavor. We have great food. We have so many local restaurants, great places like that. You said we're at the headquarters of FRLA.
Yeah, Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association.
We are actually, it's the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association, right? So we work a lot with the FRLA on great restaurants, great hotels, and things like that.
I said to the room, hey, I'd love to have sushi tonight. And I got, 15 recommendations?
Yeah. So it's all kinds of great stuff. But our outdoor activities, we have tons of great outdoor activities. I hope you guys are going to go do some zip lining.
Yeah, we are.
We are. And he has finally recovered. Our listeners know the saga of his broken ribs, of his shoulder surgery. So now all of that is behind us. No more excuses. We are going zip lining.
We're a little safer. Ours is safe.
And Segway. She's never been on a Segway.
Oh, that's true. He's hoping I'll break something this time. But no, guys.
One of the cool things about Tallahassee, too, that's different than the other parts of the state that we've covered so far, is you have hills. You actually have you have topography, which we don't have.
Yes. When you envision Florida, you might not envision the rural areas that we have out here. You might think of Miami, Tampa,
Usually
Orlando.
The biggest hill is the landfill.
Park. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We were down in Key West where the highest hill is about 2 feet off the ground.
Right.
We were down there the other day.
It's a speed bump.
But here, yes, we have hills. We do. We have and beautiful greenery and all this stuff.
Here.
You can canoe up here and do all kinds of fun stuff.
So our adventure hasn't quite started yet, and it is all laid out for us. We're super excited about what we're going to be doing. But as a local, as a guy who knows everything that's going on around here,
That's me.
Z-Man!
Bring it on.
If you have a buddy coming in town for the weekend, what is that thing that you always say, we need to go do this?
Well, that's going to depend on the age of the buddy.
Duly noted.
And we got all kinds of people that always come in. So families, if you do the family where you're going, the Tallahassee Museum is always a great stop. It's amazing what they have there. This combination of animals and activities and zip lining and all this stuff.
Oh my gosh.
That's definitely. But we also, if you can go any age. If you're a little older than that, if you're in college, we have 3 universities in this region.
Oh, yeah.
And we have some of the greatest places to go and party and have a good time. So if you're around that age or you just like that kind of stuff.
Does Tallahassee really feel like a college town sometimes?
No. Actually, there's a little bit of both. The college kids usually stay on their side of town. So you can...
Your side of the tracks.
If you like that sort of thing, you stay down below Monroe Street, but above Monroe and around the whole region, you get a whole lot of the other kind of life, postgraduate life.
So one more question. How's it change when the legislature is here? How's the vibe change?
That's the whole issue. I mean, when you get the legislature here, you get people from all over the state. This turns into a major operation here, a major city with all sorts of people coming in. So you not only get the legislators, which is 160 people, but then you get all the lobbyists, all the interested parties, and every week people are coming up from all over the state to lobby the legislature and talk to their legislator. So you have so many people. We have traffic here like you wouldn't believe that we don't usually get. You got all kinds of traffic, but it's a great experience. And everybody, I'm telling you, if your thing is about Florida, everybody should come to Tallahassee at some point and see the legislative process in action so you can see how your laws are made and you can meet your legislator and see what it's all about. Because it's really cool to see how it works.
Where can people find your show?
You can watch live in Tallahassee if you're in Tallahassee on Fox 49, the Fox affiliate, or you can go to liveintallahassee.com or check us out on YouTube.
And where do we find the association?
FRLA, you can find at FRLA.org.
FLRA.org?
FRLA.
FRLA.
Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association. You can find it on Facebook too and YouTube. So if you want to know about what's going on in that industry and hospitality in general, we are responsible for promoting hospitality and tourism within the whole entire state. And there's so much to see and do here.
And you do a lot of videos there, too. There's a lot of videos over there.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
Very good. We thought we'd add something new to this episode going forward. We're going to begin each episode with one of our highlights. We're going to pick what were our highlights, and that's what we're going to bring to you first.
Right. So, I mean, this whole podcast is about adventures from country to coast. Glenn and I, we are so different. So what better way to really explore that than to show you what stood out to each of us? Yeah, so we're going to start with the highlights. So let the adventure begin.
And here's Jemmy's highlight. Say hi, Florida.
Hi, Florida! Glenn and I are finding fear in Tallahassee. So we have 3 zones. You guys are just going to be doing zone 1. Okay. So it's going to be this course right up here. You're going to do a little training over here. And you're going to start over here. You'll get trained. You'll come up here, and then you're going to go around. Oh, cool.
These are babies. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be just fine.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's a good beginner one.
So we'll be doing that, and then after that, we'll be doing a tour of the property. I assume that you guys like wildlife. So we'll be doing the wildlife tour, and then if we have time at the end, we'll get in some of the historical stuff as well.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
This is going to be so much fun.
We just completed the zip line and adventure course that they have here. And it was an adventure, especially for Jemmy, who has vertigo. And this was challenging.
Getting on the ladder was the hardest part, getting up there. But I was shocked that once I was up there, I had the time of my life.
But we have Emma here, who is the marketing specialist at Tallahassee Museum. And I have never seen a zip line. Are you the only museum with a zip line course in the country?
I'm not quite sure if we're the only one in the country, but we're the only one in Tallahassee.
Yeah, you're the only one I know of.
I've never heard of this thing. In fact, the first time I heard of it was when we were at Huddle, and Megan Doherty from Visit Florida mentioned it. She was, from here. Yeah. She mentioned it. I was like, say what?
Yeah. So we knew we had to do it because Jemmy's never been on a zip line. So
and he's Glenn's from Ocala, where zip line country. So
absolutely,
he's done it a bunch of times, and I've just never had a chance. Really amazing thing about this museum is that you can literally enjoy it on many levels. I mean, as I experienced it from the treetops a minute ago, but we're about to experience it from ground level now. Yes. Tell us what we're going to see at this museum.
Awesome. So the museum, we are 52 acres of outdoor space to explore.
Wow.
So what we're going to be doing next is we're actually going to go and look at our wildlife trail. It's our Florida Wildlife Trail. We are the only place in Florida that has a specific animal exhibit that does just focus on Florida animals. We also do have an exhibit space where we currently have, it's Dr. Walter Schinkel's ant nest exhibit. So it's these huge ant nests.
I have those at my farm.
Yeah. So he's poured metal into them.
Oh yeah, I've seen that, aluminum.
Yes. It's right in there. So he'll...
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, so he'll pull it up and...
if anybody's wondering what we're talking about there, go to YouTube and search for aluminum ant nest.
Yes.
And you'll see the videos. It's incredible.
It's incredible. So we actually have the biggest exhibition he's ever done here.
Wow.
But he showcased these nests in like Hong Kong and Shanghai and Paris. He's had some at the Smithsonian as well. So we're...
Okay, and that's somebody who decided not to go on the zip line. And is not going on the zip line.
He's zipping around, but not on the zip line.
I know. And that's the thing. And that's the cool thing about the museum is that it does grow up with you. We have...
You've been here, 60 years or something?
Yeah, 60 years. We've been open 60 years. We have a preschool here, so your kid can actually come to preschool and learn about nature.
JoJo would love that.
Oh my God.
I know, it's great because, if you want to go learn about snakes, we have a snake center. If you want to go learn about, owls, we have owls.
Well, you were talking about how you do camp too, and so the kids can learn about birds or monkeys, whatever, and then kind of jump onto the zip lines and experience it themselves a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's so cool. And the zip camp is a really fun one that the kids love. The kids also love, we have a zoology week that we do with our animal department. So the kids actually get to make enrichment items for the animals.
Oh wow, that must be so fun.
Yeah, and they learn about their diets, and they help with constructing the meals a little bit and whatnot.
That's cool.
So they get to it's really cool if you have a kid who's really into animals, who's thinking about I want to be a vet someday.
So I want to paint the picture a little bit because usually when you hear a museum, you're talking about four walls and you're inside of them, right?
Yeah, and there's displays in glass.
Right. And now we are literally. We could be in the middle of a park. We really are. And so it looks like the exhibits are housed in these little houses throughout. And so it's not like you're walking down halls and that echoey sound. You're literally in nature while you're here. This is phenomenal.
Absolutely. And you'll see too when we go on the animal trail, what I'm really proud of is just how natural the animal space is. So they have lots of natural Florida flora to walk around in. We don't make them come out and say hi to people.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a really special place here in Tallahassee. And
well, the neat part too is we drove 9 minutes from the dead center of town at the Capitol to here.
And how far away from the airport did you say you were? Because I can't believe
about
this.
3 minutes.
I still don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Yeah, this is incredible. It is right here in the city, and you have dozens of acres?
52.
52 acres of wildlife.
And you walk around exhibit to exhibit with zip lines on top of you. It's freaking amazing. I love it here. So what's the website? Where can people find you guys?
It's www.tallahasseemuseum.org.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Now, all the animals that you're going to see at the museum, they are here for a reason. So most of these we got out of like rehabilitation centers. So they're injured, or a lot of with a lot of birds, either they're like not fully flighted, or like they can't see very well, which can be an issue because they'll like crash into the ground.
Totally.
So that can be an issue. Like our female bald eagle has part of her right wing amputated. So on the deck, so this guy over here actually came to us injured. So that's why his wings, the wings don't look as hot. He actually came with like another duck. They were like shot by hunters and like put in a fridge. What? And then they survived that, and the wife found them and felt bad and took them to a rehab center.
Oh my gosh!
So they were shot and half frozen?
Yeah. Yeah. I know they live here.
All right, you deserve to live there,
so
buddy.
Now they live here.
Okay.
So it's just... Technically, panthers aren't big cats.
They're not.
Technically not, because big cats they roar and they don't purr or meow.
Oh.
These guys meow. So any cat smaller than this panther will actually meow. So cheetahs are actually smaller than these guys, and so they'll meow.
Look at the size of his paw.
I know.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
If I saw him coming to me, I'd be like, hey, that's a big cat.
Yeah, big cat. So technically they are the lesser.
Right.
Obviously, still very dangerous
This lesser
animal.
cat's coming toward me, I'm out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But he was the first of the lesser, bigger cats to get stem cell surgery in the United States.
Oh, wow.
So
No kidding.
he actually took some stem cells and inserted them into his shoulder in order to help heal that injury. Yes, no, he does great.
We are at the Tallahassee Museum, and we are at the New Bethlehem Missionary Baptist Church, which is a black church, right? From 1800s, 1900s?
1800. And then it was, the pastor was a black slave.
And the preacher's up there on the pulpit. She's been around since
I'm a visiting preacher. Never to be invited again.
She's been around since the 1800s, but the acoustics in here are wonderful. So Jemmy's going to sing a song for us.
Oh my gosh. All right, really quick. Jesus, song of me, line. Tell him what you want. Oh, Jesus, song of me, line. Tell him what you want. Jesus, song of me, line. Tell him what you want. Oh, call him up and tell him what you want.
Yay! Well done.
I'm saying a historically black church. That's amazing.
www.tallahasseemuseum.org.
We are on our way to our next stop of Mission San Luis, which is a National Historic Landmark. And I'm really excited about this because, I know you love history, Glenn, but I do too. And I'm a little slow sometimes. It took me a minute to realize, it's a mission. So there's like religion involved and stuff. And some people may not get it from the way that I talk, but I'm a church girl.
The name mission didn't mean anything.
I'm stupid, but I'm a church girl. And so I'm really excited. But what's also amazing about this place is, when I was growing up, you don't know this yet, Glenn, but I wanted to be an archaeologist when I was a little girl.
Oh, wow.
I know. So I hear that there's some digs that are going on.
First of all, I can't see you having the patience to sit there with a toothbrush.
Oh, no. Hello, you're talking to like the most anal retentive, detail-oriented person
true.
ever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't stop until I got every single grain of sand out of whatever I was digging out. But yeah, so I'm super excited to be going there, and I can't wait to see everything and learn some history and check it out. So here we go.
This is the story of Mission San Luis.
We are in a beautiful, almost seems like a park, to be honest, right here in Tallahassee. And we keep being amazed by how close everything is to the center of town. So it seems like, though, we're way out of town here. And we're at the Mission San Luis, which is something that we have covered the Seminoles in the past, and now we're kind of moving a little bit forward in history to the Spanish arriving here.
But yes, this site was around from the 1600s to 1704 when it was burned down by the English in the Creek. But we have reconstructed it, and now it is a very popular historic landmark site.
I mean, it's not every town that you can go to where there is a university just a couple miles away, and those students can be studying archaeology, anthropology, and then come just a few miles and go to a historic site. So I can't believe I've heard there are digs here, there's artifacts here. Like, what is going on here? What are we about to experience?
Well, you are about to experience a reconstruction of the site that was here, like previously stated. And what we have done is, over the years, the archaeologists of the Department of State have actually come through and excavated the different sites on our site, so the mini sites there, and they have reconstructed based on drawings and knowledge and the depressions in the earth and everything they have found through their digs, the different buildings that would have existed here. So we are the hidden diamond in the rough of Tallahassee. A lot of people don't know that we're here, but it is very, very neat to be able to come out and actually be immersed in the history.
And this is 62 acres, right?
64.
64 acres.
It's a big place. Looking from here, it's a big place.
It is a huge place. Now, we do have a lot of nature trails that our guests can go on as well. So not all of our site is going to be the reconstruction area, but we do have the different places that they can go and see history, or they can see the nature side of everything and just see what has been here.
Basically, the Spanish comes together with the Appalachee and form a community, basically.
Yes.
And one of the things that we're discovering about Tallahassee is you guys celebrate your nature and everything else. So it's going to be really interesting to literally not literally, but figuratively step back in time and experience how the people who lived back then lived off of the land, the native land. So I can't wait to hear all about it.
Absolutely. And we're looking for farm-to-table movement in Tallahassee so that we can introduce the original farm-to-table movement of Tallahassee.
Literally from a patch outside the door to your house.
Exactly. So we have lots and lots of neat programs here that we extend out into the Tallahassee area. We do workshops. We do volunteering here where they can come and immerse themselves as a volunteer. You can do just walk-arounds. You can come back as a member. It's just amazing. And we do outreaches all the time to try and let people know who we are and what we're doing.
And we already heard that you also do weddings. So it could be a beautiful place for a wedding or other events and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of different reasons for people to come visit.
Yes, we are one of the most unique wedding sites in Tallahassee because we do have that history. And if you are very, very interested in Tallahassee before it was Tallahassee, having your wedding here just puts that as the backdrop and puts that history right there. So you'll remember your wedding for multiple reasons.
One of the first things you see as you come in here is the huge thatched building over there.
What is that?
Yeah, what is that? It's huge.
So that is our council house. We are going to go see that later on in our tour today. But that is...
Imagine a teepee on steroids.
Yeah, like the big steroids.
Yes, when I do tours for small children, the first thing out of their mouths is, "It's a volcano."
It kind of looks that way, actually, with a big thatched volcano, yes. Although with the smoke coming out the top when it was going, it probably did look like that.
Absolutely. It is not a volcano, just to let everybody know. It's not. But yes, so that is our main focal point of our site. We were a mission, which means that our church should be our main focal point, but because this council house is so unique to our site and there's not a lot of them still up and running, many people who come here say, "Oh, I know that place. You have the big, what's that thing called?" And I'm like, "The council house?" And they're like, "Yes, that's
this is half a football field. That's huge."
Yes. So it is the most unique thing. Definitely, if you want to buy
I can't
a
wait to
postcard,
see that.
we have those on postcards.
Let's
Okay.
go check it out.
Who's going to be our guide today?
I will be half your guide today. I will be talking about the more modern and archaeological. Oh my gosh, I cannot
archaeological.
say that.
Look, I said it.
Archaeological. So yes, I apologize for the rest of the tour if you say that word. But yes, I will be talking about the more modern half of our site and what's been going on there. And then we will also have one of our interpreters, or as we like to call them, actual village people, Pedro Fonseca, and he will be out with us and he will be talking about the history and his immersive experience as an actual villager.
And what's the website?
The website is missionsanluis.org.
San Luis was the capital of Appalachia and the largest mission. The first public buildings built at the mission were probably the church and the Appalachia Council House. The town plaza was also created at that time.
There will be 3 masses on Sunday. The first mass is done in Latin, and the friar will be sitting in the podium, or standing in the podium, reciting his mass. There is just standing room only. The entire village will come to this church for Sunday mass. Men will be on this side, women will be on this side, and the friar up in the podium. And there's a board on top, which is a sounding board. From that position, you can be heard even all the way in the back here.
Wow, really?
That board reflects the sound down.
Oh, yeah.
So your voice carries all the way into the back. Now I said there are 3 masses. The first mass is done in Latin. Nobody understands that. No entiendo español. Latin. Entienden español. Entiendo. The second mass is done in Spanish, and then the third mass is done in Appalachia. So if you were Appalachia, you had to spend 6 hours before you could understand anything that was being said.
So everyone stayed for all 3?
No.
Oh, okay.
Everybody stayed for the first 2. But if you were Appalachia, then you would stay for the third one as well. So you were looking at a 9-hour day. Spent in church. 6 hours if you're Spanish.
Wow.
So this is the center of Appalachia culture.
Wow.
It's 320 feet wide. It is 5 stories tall.
Wow, that's amazing.
So this is where the Appalachia will come to for meetings and celebrations and festivals, to settle disputes and things of that nature. These inner benches that you see around are for the warriors and elders of the different clans. And then you have the outer benches are for guests and travelers, merchants coming in from out of town. They can either stay and rest here for a few days, or
it would act as a bit of a hotel.
Kind of, yes. Now over here,
now that's not a sound that they often heard back then, I imagine.
No, not at all. Now over here, these 3 benches that you see, the 2 on the side are for the Appalachian Council, and then the center bench is for the chief himself. He is on a
elevated
platform to show his elevated stature. And then the council member benches are also elevated from everything else.
Now, there was a fire going in here all the time?
There'd be a fire going 24/7 every day of the year.
This was just a meeting house then at that point? Or
meetings, settle disputes, and festivals.
The website is missionsanluis.org.
Well, we are on our way for a bit of cultural creativity as we go check out Lemoyne Arts here in Tallahassee. It is this amazing old house that has now been converted into an art gallery, and we can't wait to see it. We heard that there's a display up of photography all over Florida, natural wildlife and stuff. We also are expecting to do some sort of activity, I think. I don't really know what they have in store.
You know,
it literally just said activity.
It's an activity that involves anything artistic, it's going to be a disaster, right? You realize that.
I predict disaster. For one of us, we wonder who will actually come out on top as the better artist.
Yeah, I think we can give you that right now and not even have to do it.
I have no reason for you to believe that, but we'll go with it. All right, let's go check out Lemoyne Arts.
Lemoyne is the premier gallery of Tallahassee.
Well, Lemoyne has been a treasure in our community for 50 years now.
From the beginning, Lemoyne had the highest quality work. It's got a great reputation as the place to show your artwork.
It feels great to be showing my work with Lemoyne.
Oh my gosh, so we just got a fantastic tour of Lemoyne Arts by Ann Kozlowski. Thank you so much. She's the art director here, and we are now sitting in one of the main gallery rooms full of just some of the most breathtaking photography I've ever seen.
Well, Lemoyne, just to give you a little history, is the oldest and longest continually exhibiting art gallery in the city of Tallahassee. We were founded in 1963 as a Florida gallery. Back in 63, Miami wasn't what it is, Tampa, the whole thing. And being the capital city, the local art concerns were that we needed a Florida art gallery. Mm-hmm. So they started by creating a nonprofit and then also jurying in artists in the community. So they would have their Lemoyne artists and then exhibiting. So fast forward 55 years later, we're still here. Yeah. And we change out our exhibits every month. Oh. So I hang and unhang 10 shows a year.
Wow.
And then in November, December, we have our traditional holiday show, which is on its 4th generation of people.
Wow. So people can visit 12 times and see something different every time in the year.
Absolutely. Yes, we're very proud of that. The house itself was built in 1853, and it was originally built on the corner lot. And in the late 1800s, early 1900s, it was moved over here at some point after the Civil War. And in 1906, that house on the corner was built as a wedding present for the niece. Pretty nice gift.
Pretty nice, not too bad.
During the Civil War, this house was used as a hospital for Confederate officers. Now, we're not sure if it was in the house or under the house because the land is off grade. So
what does that mean, off grade?
It's at an angle.
Oh.
So you've got stilts on the back.
Gotcha.
You know. So my thought would be that it'd have to be inside.
Yeah.
They're officers.
Right.
You know. But that's what we've been told. There are still members of the family that live in Tallahassee and will come in from time to time and tell us stories about how they'd sleep on the summer porch upstairs and just fun stuff like that. And as another interesting note, it has been investigated by paranormal investigators.
Really? Did they find anything?
A little bit upstairs and a whole lot in the garden.
Oh my goodness.
So we have 4 main
Just letting you know, right now in my head I'm thinking, I can't wait to see the garden. In his head he's thinking, I don't want to see the garden.
Well, they just saw a bunch of orbs and rocks.
None of those Confederate soldiers were there.
No, I was very disappointed. I was expecting, I wanted a party.
Right.
But they did see some forms upstairs in one of the storage closets. And I mean, they just have these little, cheesy little digital cameras.
Yeah.
And the woman, the main investigator, had herself locked in this closet.
Oof.
And
braver than I am.
Yeah. And she sat there and she with the flash on, taking multiple pictures. And you could see these 3 forms at the end of the room, at the end of the storage. And then she came back later and did it again. And those same figures were taller and closer.
What? We are in the basement of Lemoyne Arts, where we are so happy to have found Nancy Jefferson, who is like the resident potter here, and also has a little bit of family history, which is pretty amazing. And we're discovering Americana this weekend in Tallahassee, so it is so perfect. Please, Nancy, do tell us a little bit about yourself, your role here, and your family history.
I've been working with clay for over 40 years. We have classes, workshops, all of that. We just have fun.
What kind of classes can people dive into at Lemoyne?
And here, we do hand building, all kinds of projects. We do wheel throwing. You see the wheels over there.
Tell us about a relative of yours.
Yes.
Because our segment is called Americana. For this.
Our theme for this.
Thomas Jefferson was my great-great-great-uncle. Yeah, and I have the history, all that kind of thing.
Like the family tree type of thing? Right. Very cool, very cool.
Well, what are we going to be doing today?
Today, we're going to make a bird.
Oh,
we're going to make a bird out of clay.
Out of clay.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes the clay will decide what you're going to make.
Yeah, I have no artistic ability at all.
So when you say that, you might make a fish.
Now, this isn't the kind of clay pigeon that you go and you skeet off and shoot later and from there, right?
I can make one of those. They're just flat round.
Exactly. No, this is actually going to look like a bird. Mine will. I don't know about Glenn's.
Started this one. And
I'll finish it, okay?
And it needs,
a wing. I can put 2 wings on it. I'll be good to go. Yeah, I'll be good to go.
So, have a seat.
You have to start from scratch.
Now, move all the things you don't want clay to get on.
Okay.
We'll move the iPads and the mics and things.
Duly noted.
All right, good. Well, thank you, and let's play.
Let's play.
All right.
Play with clay.
And we have Rachel over there who's helping us get everything set up from Visit Tallahassee, and we've been playing in clay.
We have been playing in clay.
Look at Jemmy going to town on
We're
her
having
bird.
such a good time
You got
over
a
here.
duck. I think yours looks like a duck.
It's actually kind of cute.
It is kind of cute, actually. You did a good job with yours. And your duck turned into an apple.
It did.
Yeah, but it does look like an
It's
apple,
the
actually.
circle of life.
It really is
It's
good.
the circle of life.
And
Maybe in its past life it was a bird.
And my bird turned into something from the Star Wars bar scene. We're not sure what.
Some sort of salamander frog thing.
Amoeba thing. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for
You're so welcome.
for helping
Thank
us
you for coming
do our
here.
first clay projects.
A or B? Vote in the comments. A or B?
Duck or really cool bar scene amoeba. That's creative right there. Anybody can do a duck.
Where do you want to go? You want to go to the museum, the galleries, the shops. This is something that this community needs as well for people to come and really enjoy. And Lemoyne offers that, and a strong Lemoyne can really provide a creative anchor for our community.
It's all part of Tallahassee becoming the jewel of the South.
Well, we just finished a wonderful lunch provided to us by Visit Tallahassee. Thank you very much to Rachel and the gang over there. But we were at the Edison, which looks like it was the old power building, the old power plant building, right along the river. It was really cool. It's called the Edison, and it obviously was themed as early light,
Right. They really played the theme up, too, because they have, not only the light bulb in their logo, but they use those old school looking light bulbs, those antique light bulbs everywhere. And the building itself was all brick.
It was beautiful inside, too.
And I think it might actually be a private club, too, because it looked like I saw some liquor lockers or something like that.
Oh.
So it was really cool.
You were looking through them?
Actually, I was. Actually, I tried to open a couple of the doors. I couldn't know they were all locked. But you can see through them. So I'm like, ooh, Maker's Mark. That sounds good now. But yeah, it was really neat. And I wish we could tell you that, we could comment on a couple different dishes, but we actually got the same thing.
Yeah, we got the same thing. We both got the burgers because we were really hungry.
They were really good, really, really good. And I actually had a mimosa as well that was totally delicious.
Or two.
So they have their mimosa special. It was like a brunch thing. And I just had one, but then he poured me a second. It was really nice. But I do want to mention, because it was right along Cascades Park, and Edison has a really cool deal that they just started where they have a picnic basket. And you can get a bottle of wine, you can get, your sandwich, your sides, and all that stuff, and they put it in a cute little picnic basket that you take it along your way. So you stop at the Edison, get your picnic basket, go to Cascades Park, and just have a really nice time and enjoy your time outdoors at Tallahassee.
And now a Finding Florida random find. So we have a random find, and we didn't have to go very far to do it.
We're still in the basement.
We're still in the basement working with clay. And we found Katya down here who is really lost. She's really lost. She's a long way from home. Where are you from?
I'm from Russia.
From what part?
I'm from Moscow.
Moscow. Why are you in Tallahassee, of all places?
I'm visiting my grandparents right now. They live in Tallahassee.
And what do they do?
My granddad, he is a scientist in physics. He works in a lab.
Oh, cool.
And my grandma, well, she's not working. She's
your grandma.
Yeah, she's just my grandma.
So tell us about you're obviously taking art classes here, and you're pretty good at drawing. I saw that over there. So what do you want to do in Russia? What do you do for fun?
For fun, I draw, I make animations in Russia. I walk with my friends for fun, like doing stuff, reading books, playing computer games, all stuff like regular kids does.
And what about, I heard you have a YouTube channel?
Yes, I have a YouTube channel. I post my animations there. It calls Kieri. There are just only 300 subscribers.
That's pretty good, actually. So you have a YouTube channel in Russian?
I make video animations with music, but sometimes I speak. Well, I don't do speaking videos, so I have Russian, but mostly I use English because audience is bigger.
Bigger? Yeah.
Yes.
And you also speak. You're 14 years old. You speak Russian, you speak English, and you speak some Spanish.
Yes, a bit.
That's pretty good. I'm impressed. Well, do you like Tallahassee?
Yes, I like it. There's a lot of interesting things. Like, for example, I were on the Lake Ella. There are a lot of ducks and birds, and we walked there with my grandparents. I enjoyed it. Okay.
Well, can you say something for me in Russian? Can you say,
for example,
I love Florida?
Я люблю Флориду.
Very good. Thank you. That's perfect. Please tune into the second half of our Tallahassee adventure in episode 9C, which will come out in a week or so, including Jemmy's first ride on a Segway. Will we hear more of this?
Gosh, I hope not. All right. To find us on social media, send us an email and see our show notes with all the great pics and links. Join us at findingfloridapodcast.com. Also, be sure to join us in the FPN Insiders group on Facebook.
And here's to your next adventure.